You guys ready to see Jase again? How many of you just absolutely were blown away and enjoyed his show last night? How many of you would like a recording of that show? So, when Jase finishes, I talked with Jase, and one of the things that Jase said was, by the way, Jase is just as powerful as I am in other circles, and you don't know that. It's one of the reasons I brought him here, so I could step into his circle some, and I allowed him to step into mine some. And Jase is an incredibly powerful man. You're getting a feel for that. He has some resources that he's going to let you know about today. I hope that you take full advantage of that. When you do, I talked with Jase. We're going to give you a recording of that show last night for free. Okay? And by the way, Jase doesn't know this, but when you do, we have one other bonus for you that I'm going to ask him to give you. That should help him out. Okay. And he's sitting back there going, what is that all about? All right. So let's give Jase an incredible MIC welcome. Woo!
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Good morning.
Would you like me to move this guy?
No, he's perfect. Good morning.
He's perfect.
I love you, Mike.
Good morning. Man, you work out. You've been hanging around Preston? Damn.
Yes, I have.
Oh.
We've been pants shopping. Okay, listen, I got to clear something up about what Mike said about the first time we met. You know how Mike told you that we met and he beat me up a little bit, and then I beat him up a little bit, and then he beat me up a little bit more. You guys remember that from the first day? It was really like this. Charles introduces us, and Mike and I talk, and I use some of the tools that I'm going to teach you today to create this really instant rapport and bond with Mike. And then Mike looks at Charles and says, Charles, will you excuse us, please? And I said, oh, boy. So it didn't go Mike beat me up, I beat up Mike, Mike beat me up. It went Mike beat me up, Mike beat me up, Mike beat me up. And then he goes, I got this other great idea. So what I want to know is, my gain and loss is your gain and gain. Sound good or sound good? High five your neighbor and say, good morning. I'm glad you're here. I am so happy to see you guys this morning. Who's got their coffee? Thank God for coffee, huh? So, who was that guy last night? Sarah and I were talking about who had fun at the show last night? Thank you. You know, I forgot to dedicate that show to God, the big guy upstairs. It's all about him for me. And so Sarah and I were talking about the show last night, and she starts busting out laughing. And I'm like, what's so funny? And she goes, remember the guy who says, I have the biggest bells? Where is he? Is he here today? Man, you are Tinkerbell. We're saluting like actors do. Everyone's okay, yeah. So you guys, I have so much great information. Is it okay with you if I use my notes? By the way, have I now taught you a really great way to always get permission to use your notes? Yes, you might want to write that one down. I have got a lot to give you today, so therefore I can either go, medium to slow and leave some stuff out, or I can go quick but add a way you'll understand so I can pack more in. So let's vote. Who votes slow? Who votes quick? Thank you. High five your neighbor. Say, I'm ready, baby. I'm ready, baby. So you're probably wondering, how can a hypnotist help me make money? And how does this hypnosis stuff make sense? I will explain it to you. You're not going to go into a broker's office and go sleep and lay them all out. Darn. Well, you could. That's an advanced training. What you will, though, do is, do you think if I could get people moving around like that, I know a thing or two about influence? And the people who did it won, didn't they? Those of you in the show like being in the show, yes or yes? I had people not in the show come up to me this morning and say, boy, I slept better than I've ever slept, and I wasn't even in the show. Yeah. So write this down. When you do it right, everybody wins. When you do it right, who wins? Thank you. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. So I want you to imagine this. Actually, Mike, I am going to move this. He keeps just distracting me. Is it okay, Mike? So when you do it right, everybody wins. So I want you to imagine, what would it be like for you if you had more confidence? How would you like to learn how to have agents so emotionally tied to you, you're the only person they'll use, and they'll even say to their client, no, we got to wait for them. We can book next week. It'll be okay. Who would like that? How about this? What if you have more referrals, more repeat business, you always knew what to say, and could you imagine if you're going to do public presentations, what if you were actually excited about it? Who would like that? Yeah. So, sorry, I got to pose again. Actually, come on up. Let's switch sides. Can you come up here for a second? Come on, I'm on a timer here. Okay, everybody, on the count of three, say some cheese. 1, 2, 3, cheese! Thank you, you're the best. So, what about this? What if you killed it at your next presentation and you did so well that when that broker's hanging around with another broker, they sell it for you? They say you have got to have them come do your next presentation. Who would like that? Say yes. Then that's what we're going to cover today. So, my name's Jase, and welcome to the secret sauce in your income. You are about to discover some of the top keys. You're going to learn how to have more confidence. You're going to learn the missing skill for your income. This is the secret missing skill for your income, how to get more referrals and repeat business, how to always know what to say and be excited about your next presentation. So this is the final piece to make your cash flow jump. You know what I mean when I say cash flow jump? I don't just mean this. I mean this, like a rapid jump. Everybody go way up. Way up. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go way, way up. I believe your business is only as good as you are. Write this one down. My business income is equal to my abilities. My business income is equal to my systems. I also believe that your business is your mission field. I believe your business is where you make a difference. And I believe your business is a people business. It's what kind of business? People. Yeah, you're not in the home inspection business. You're in the people business. And I believe that when you get great at communication, you get great with people. When you get great at communication, you get great at what? People. Thank you, guys. How was that? People. Are you guys tired this morning? No. Yeah, today's one of those good morning God mornings. Or good God mornings, I should say. So, I want to acknowledge you guys. You have been one of the most loving, wonderful, engaged crowds I have ever been in. So that person in your seat, thank you for being there. I absolutely love you. Do me a favor, knuckle bump your neighbor and say, thanks from Jase. You are welcome. My contribution. And how about you guys, it has been 3 days long. Today's the 4th, and Mike is just as strong as he was at the beginning. How is Mike doing, you guys? Is he phenomenal? Yeah. And there's one more group I want to thank that I think they go unnoticed because they're so excellent. And I've been doing seminars, I've been running seminars, teaching seminars for 11 years now, and Mike's staff is impeccable. So would you please help me in thanking Mike's staff? You guys are amazing. I love you guys. Aha! So, since we're going to spend a couple moments together, is it okay if I tell you a little bit about myself? It's okay. I think you guys know more about me than anyone else already, but I'll share with you a little bit more. I already shared with you my why. I believe in you, and I believe it's all about you. So, my before story, I used to travel around the country, and I would sell seminars for $2,500 all around the country. And then I shared with you I went through a little bit of a dip in my life, and I pulled off the road, and I really wanted to help people. And I said, you know what? If all I want to do is help people. I don't care about the money anymore. I just want to help people. And I used to sell for $2,500. I then sold it for $10. Same seminar. Guess what happened? Nobody came. Were you there? No, you couldn't have been. Nobody came. The same exact seminar, $10. I had fewer sales. I actually impacted less people. So here I'm trying to help people by cutting the price, and I've got less people, and then I've got less people to market and less people to take care of myself and others with, and then nobody won. Does that make sense? It was frustrating. So then I started putting my efforts in. I started studying, what am I doing wrong? And what I found out is there's 3 critical things you've got to do to grow business really rapidly, and here they are. You've got to know how to market effectively by positioning yourself as the go-to expert. As the what? Go-to expert. And what I mean by the go-to expert is you are the person that they go to, nobody else. The next thing is you've got to know how to communicate and sell really, really, really well. And if you don't like the word sales, write this down. Create a new future. Sales is just creating new futures. And then the final thing you got to do if you want to go really fast is learn how to speak and present to groups. The fastest way in the world to grow your business is to present to groups. Present to groups. So I started studying that. I went all over the world to study. I actually was so committed to this that on Thanksgiving Day, I flew from Vegas to Canada to take a seminar. Did you know those Canadians don't care about Thanksgiving? Who do they think they are? But it was really great. There was in-flight TV, like live TV, so I got to watch football on the way up. And my friends Joe and Olga, who told me, Joe and Olga came to my seminar back in 2004 when I was selling like $20,000 packages. They're still some of my dearest friends today. And they told me about the seminar, and they picked me up at the airport. They say, Jase, well, actually, Olga's from Russia, and she has this beautiful accent. She says, Jase, it's a Thanksgiving. We want to take you out for a beautiful Thanksgiving dinner. I said, you know what, Olga? If we got some wings and beer and watch football, that would be like my family. So we, don't judge. So we go to the hotel, and we finally get American football on the TV, and the wings come, and the beers come, and I said, this is living. And we're starting our dinner, and then the hotel manager comes over and goes, excuse me, it's hockey night in Canada. We've got to change the TV station. Oh! But that was the level of my dedication. So what I want to share with you now and the next time we've got is as much as I can on how you can use speaking, communication, and influence to grow your business really, really rapidly. How rapidly? Really rapid. I heard some people talk about Yelp yesterday. Before I show you that, I want to show you this. You guys heard of Rich Dad Poor Dad? Is he worth reading? If you don't know who Rich Dad Poor Dad is, write it down. It's R as in Rich. No, I was just kidding. So Kiyosaki says, as a teacher, I recognize it was excessive fear and self-doubt that were the greatest detractors of personal genius. Don't raise your hand on this, but any of you dealing with self-doubt, fear, insecurity? I'm sure there is. It broke my heart to see students know the answers, yet lack the courage to act on the answers. Often in the real world, it's not the smart that get ahead, but the bold. I strongly urge students to learn to take risks, be bold, to let their genius convert that fear into power and brilliance. I especially want to talk to my planners over here. Often in the real world, it's not the smart that get ahead, but the bold. So you've got to be what? Bold. Write this down. Boldness is rewarded. Boldness is rewarded. Baldness too. That's funny. Sarah, write that down. So the opportunities now. So some of the things I want to share with you guys. What you're going to get out of this presentation today, you're going to learn a template for speaking that you can use forever. You're going to learn the missing skill in your business. You're going to learn how this missing skill really works and a system for success in your cash flow. Who would like a guaranteed system for success in their cash flow? Say yes. You got it. So what I thought I'd show you guys is my Yelp reviews. Anybody else here on Yelp? Yelp filters a lot. I actually have 13 reviews, but they filtered out about 7. But I want to show you the power of Yelp. Social reviews is where it's at, and people talked about this weekend, but write it down. Independent social reviews. If you went to someone's website and they have 10 testimonials and they're all embedded in the website and they look beautiful, what could have happened to create those 10 testimonials? They could have lied and made them up. But when it's an independent site like Yelp, it's not made up, it's real. So you need to get yourself on independent social reviews. Anybody here like to travel? Have you heard of TripAdvisor? Boy, what a great tool. Write that one down, TripAdvisor, if you don't know it. Sarah and I went to London. TripAdvisor saved us a ton of money, and we found the coolest bed and breakfasts and things to do by independent people. And what makes Yelp and TripAdvisor so powerful is that the people who review you are actual people you can communicate with. So the subconscious implication for people checking you out is that it's a true neutral review. Does that make sense, you guys? I know some people don't want Yelp because it can monkey around with things, but you guys, you got to be on it. Social review is the way of the future. I honestly believe for your marketing on the internet, write this down. Here's what you're going to need in the future. You're going to need social reviews that are independent of you. You're going to need a blog. every one of you has got to start blogging, and then a registration page. I think the days of the fancy website are over. The days of image advertising are over. The days of me, look how great I am are over. You have got to get into serving them and solving problems. Write this down, solve problems. You get paid to solve problems. Write it down, circle it, highlight it, whatever you want to do. Also, I want to show you guys something cool. You guys know LinkedIn? I got this in my email the other day. It said, congratulations, you have one of the top 10% most viewed profiles on LinkedIn. Is that cool or is that cool? Oh, thank you. Thank you. I was really proud and impressed with myself, too, until this guy David says, well, that's 200 million people on LinkedIn, so congrats, you're in the top 20 million. But still, I made top 20 million. And that all happened in about 6 months. I really didn't use LinkedIn before the last 6 months. I know how to position, so it's come along really fast. So, cash flow jump. I want you to have your system for your speaking. A system for your what? Pop the Elmo up, please. I'm going to show you something right here. I call your one-of-a-kind presentation. Can you guys see that? Is that in focus? How do I focus? Autofocus? How do I make it go down? Are you going to hold the paper up? Yeah, zoom me in, baby. Thank you. So just a tip, whenever you're speaking, if a handout goes out or if something goes on the screen, they're not listening. So if you need to pick your nose or something, that's a good time. See, barely anyone laughed at that because you're all reading. So I want you to think back to every presentation I've done. I used this exact template. When you come out on stage, you ask 3 say yes questions. A say yes question is a question that 100% of the room will say yes to. If you don't get engagement immediately, you are done. By the way, I'm going to go through this really fast. Guys, look up here real quick. This comes from a DVD I created. I saw a need in the market that people needed to do public presentations, and they really didn't have a good template. You guys, if you're going to speak, do not wing it. Look at your neighbor and say, don't wing it. Bullet points are okay. Look at your other neighbor and say, bullet points are okay. And look at your other neighbor and say, put them in a structure. Every presentation I do, I went in studio when I recorded this DVD. So what I did on the first half is I explained this whole template, and then on the second half, I model it for you. Who was here on Monday? Do you remember when I came out, I asked questions, I set a hook, I introduced myself. Anybody recall that? Did I do the same format the next day I came out? Yep. So the format is this, and here's my actual script. Overcome obvious objections, and I've got my notes, set a hook. A hook gets them to listen. My hook I used on Tuesday was, do you remember me saying this? I made a total of $2,000 in 6 months, and then I made $96,000 in 90 minutes. Do you want to learn how I did it? You guys remember that? You got to hook them so they'll listen. If you don't hook them, they're gone. Overcome obvious objections. The way I did that this morning is the energy was kind of low in here, right? I said, you guys a little tired? If we don't address the elephant in the room, it stays an elephant in the room and you lose them for the entire time. Welcome, my name is. Do you think that's important? Oh, yeah, it's important. Remember I used to be a flight attendant? We always had the in-flight thing printed on cards just in case we forgot. Every time I had my card, I didn't need it. Every time I didn't have my card, right? There's going to be times you're presenting, you're going to go, what do I say next? Oh, yeah, my name's Bob. Thanks for laughing. And then you share what you believe in. I'll go into more on this as we can, but one of the things I've been learning lately, nobody cares what we do. Write this down. They care why we do it. You recall every morning I've said, I believe X, Y, I believe your business is your mission field. I believe your business is where you can make a difference. I believe your business is only as good as you are. When you share your heart, that's what gets buy-in. You got to share your heart. You got to share your what? Heart. And then every morning, have I edified and thanked you? Yeah. This morning, I also thanked Mike and I thanked the staff. And then I did a little high, low, high. A before story, I was selling seminars for $2,500. The other day, I talked about how I was making all this money, traveling the world. I went to all these seminars, and then I shared my down story, which was when things went wrong, I could only sell seminars for $10. Or my down story was I went through a big depression, and then that leads to a new high, and that new high would be I'm really committed to people, and I've learned how to do sales and marketing. You guys with me on this? Give me some nods out there. It's hard to see with these lights. Okay, good. So I have that on these notes too. Here's my script for today. Introduction, your before story, your what went wrong, what gave you catalyst to change, and then that segues. The thing that gives you catalyst to change is usually what you're going to bring to the audience. And so then my new high and how it benefits you. My new high and how it benefits who? Yeah, it's how you benefit your audience. And then it goes into a segue, and you say, and that's why I'm here. Enough about me. Let's talk about you. And then you go into the bullet points of what they're going to learn that day. And you phrase it in benefits to them. And then here's your chunks. Do you think if you had a script or an outline like that, it can make a big difference in your speaking? Say yes. Good. Cool. Would you like it absolutely free? Yes. Savor the wanting. So if you look on my thing, I actually have it right here. Here's my segue. Here's the orange for me tells me to go to a certain slide. The blue tells me what I want to talk about. And then here's my four main benefits right there. And then here's my chunk. And it says pop-up template on Elmo. Show one-of-a-kind presentation DVD. I've been speaking 11 years and I have it in here. If I've been speaking 11 years and I have it in here, you guys, it's okay. You don't have to have it all memorized. You don't have to have, use a system. Would you guys ever inspect a house without the right tools? Well, quit giving presentations without the right tools. Use a system. Use a what? System. Is this cool or is this cool? Did you guys read bullet point 3? No. Who did? Don't give it away. So then here's my chunks, 1, 2, and 3. And then when we get down here, then I'll go into it. And then there's emotional impact story. There's your offer and invitation. There's the benefits, testimonials, discount. Must be a real discount. Do me a favor, you guys write this down. Real discounts only. Real discounts only. And then bonuses. Real bonuses only. You guys see this says must be real bonuses only available live? You guys reading this? You guys see this? No or yes? Yes. Here's my thought on that. We'll switch back to PowerPoint, please, to the keynote. Have you ever seen these speakers go, today only, special price, blah, 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 and then what do they have the next week? Today only, special. Well, the thing is, as human beings, have you ever had people say to you, oh, this is great, but let me think about it? You ever dealt with a planner? You ever heard someone say, oh, this is great, but I need more time? Human beings are conditioned to wait. Remember, conditioning equals results? You got to kind of overcome the conditioning. You've got to give people a reason for action now. Write this down. Give them a reason. But it's completely inauthentic if you say today only. And I know you guys aren't like, today only, buy my building inspection. Well, some people might be. But when you're going to present to realtors, they could book you next year. They could book you 2 years from now. What if there's a way you could present to realtors and they had incentive to book you right now? Who thinks that'd be pretty cool? What if they had incentive, at least emotionally, to say to you, I'm going to send my next person to you, guaranteed. Who would like that? So give them a reason. So one of the things you want to look at, there's 3 kinds of income in life. Write these down. Mental, emotional, financial. There's more, but these are the biggest ones in business. Mental, emotional, and financial. So what you want to do in business is give more mental, emotional, and financial income. How can you give more mental income? You teach them something. Make them a part of something. Give them products. One of the things I recommend every single one of you do, go cut your own DVDs. You can get DVDs done at a pretty reasonable price. 10 things you have to know when you're buying your first house. 10 things you have to know when you're buying multifamily. 10 things you have to know from XYZ, from Dallas's premier home inspector. If a buyer's looking at hiring a home inspector and one of them has a DVD and one of them doesn't, who are they going with? DVD equals expert. Write that down. DVD equals expert. So start creating a product. Do you have to make it all yourself? No. Find someone and pay them to use their product to give to realtors. How about the next time a realtor sends you a referral, you give them an amazing personality training? Will that be cool? Yeah, and you can outsource all of it. Cool or cool? Cool. All right, chunk number 3. This is the most important thing. I was a realtor for 4 years in Orlando, and not a single person I ever worked with asked me what was important to me. Let me repeat that. I was a realtor for 4 years. Not a single mortgage broker, not a single building inspector, not a single termite person, not a single title company asked me what was important to me. In other words, nobody got into my world to find my subconscious drivers. Where are buying decisions made? Logically or emotionally? Emotion. So if they're made emotionally, would it make sense to know what people are pushing on emotionally? In other words, you've got to find their why. Write that down. Find their why. If one single person had done that, they would have set themselves aside from everyone else because they would have known they're serving who? Me. But nobody asked. And so I don't want you guys to be that same thing. It's time to get in people's world. That realtor doesn't want just a good deal. They want to make a what? Commission. But what are they using that commission for? Are they using that commission to pay for kids' college? Are they using that commission to pay for some debt? Are they using that commission to avoid foreclosure or themselves? What is that commission going to be used for? If you can find out what they're going to use that commission for, when it comes back to the presentation, you don't say, I'm going to give you a great building inspection. You say, I'm going to make sure your kid's college gets paid for, or at least I'm going to do my portion to make sure your kid's college gets paid for. I'm going to make sure that whatever I can do to help you get out of debt, I'm going to do. Does that make sense, you guys? Now, is everybody just going to tell you this stuff right away? Not initially, but if you learn how to communicate like an expert, they will. People will just start telling you things you didn't expect, and the more you know, the more equipped you are for success. You guys track with me on this? Yeah. High five your neighbor, say, ask them why. So here's a challenge I know you guys are facing. You've been relying on word of mouth. You've been relying... And I've heard this as a common thing. You've been relying on word of mouth advertising and you've been complaining about it, right? You guys, can you keep just relying on that? No. There's too many people in the market. And as much as you're an amazing human being, you will be seen as a commodity if you don't set yourself apart. So let's look at what are the secret skills. If that wasn't up there, it would say, what's the secret skills of all wealthy people? So what do you think is the secret skill of all wealthy people? What's the thing that will have you not be a commodity anymore? Good morning. What's the secret skill of all wealthy people? You're so close. You're so close. I heard a couple people say some things. Let's look at the 4 pillars of cash flow. Step 1, find or attract. Isn't that easy? You got to find and attract business. Step 2, you got to convert it into a client. Step 3, deliver your product or service, i.e. do the home inspection. And step 4, referrals, repeat business, or upsells. Sarah, could I get a water, please? Referrals, repeat business, or upsells. So what goes into finding and attracting clients? Marketing, communication. What goes into converting a prospect to a client? Communication. What goes into delivering? That's your business. I don't care what business you're in, that's the one step out of 4 is your actual delivery of your business. So if 1 step out of 4 is the actual delivery of your business, how much time should you spend on the business itself? And how much time should you spend on the communication? What has Mike been teaching you guys? Systems for marketing. Marketing is what will drive your cash flow. However, when the client or the realtor comes in the door or you're doing the presentation, it goes from marketing to what? Sales. Write this down. Sales equals cash flow. Because if you get 1 billion clients and you don't know how to convert them into 1 billion prospects and you don't convert them into clients, you're sunk. You got to convert them into clients. And then step 4, communication. If your delivery is excellent, but even if your delivery is just okay, any McDonald's franchise owners in here? Okay, how's McDonald's hamburgers? How much repeat business do they have? They are immaculate communicators. They earn the repeat, they earn the referral, and they earn the upsell through communication. So what do you think the secret skill of all wealthy people is? What is it? Communication. You got it. Everybody sit up real quick. Get some energy in this room. Are you guys tired? So I just want to acknowledge something for me. Man, my back started killing last night, so if my energy's a little off, I don't take painkillers, but I'm on them today. Ooh, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just Advil. Shake it out, shake it out. Let's sit up with some energy. Oh, thank you. You are a servant. I really appreciate that. Give this guy a round of applause, will you? You know what I love about him? Last night I say, if you have any back or neck injuries or anything that might be aggravated by flopping around on stage, and he's like, nope, I'm fine. Go ahead, sit up, feeling good. Sit down, sit up, feeling good. So it's all communication. And that repeat, referral, upsell, you guys, if you get great at communication, you can have that repeat, referral, and upsell come from past clients, realtors, and brokers. You can create such a strong network of communication, they do the advertising for you. That's power. When peer sells peer, write that down. When peer sells peer, That's power. When one broker says to the other, they've got to use you. When one realtor says to the other, they've got to use you. When one home buyer says to the other, they've got to use you, that's power. You want to have such good communication, they sell you for you. That's when it happens, and that's when you just start get the flood coming in. That's the flood. Have you heard about the inverted funnel? So it used to be the funnel's like this, right? Like a big V. It used to go, you go wide, you get a lot of prospects, and then it dwindles down. Actually, can we go to the Elmo for a moment? So the inverted V looks like this. It used to be, the funnel looks like that. You go wide, you get a lot of prospects. Have you guys seen that before? It's now like this. You get a couple prospects, and you go deep, and you go wide. So what that means is you sell them more services. How many of you, I had a really great talk with Jason yesterday. How many of you are getting repeat business from the same client 2 and 3 years later in the same house? Really? Oh, everyone with your hand up, high five a neighbor and say, I'm awesome. And those of you that don't, take note. Isn't that repeat business nice? Generally doesn't cost much in marketing. They already know you. You don't have to establish rapport. They trust you. They love you. They come back in. Here's where you can sell them that repeat business. Here's where you can sell them the follow-ups for mold or radon or whatever else. This is where you go deep and wide with a few people. This is what Mike's doing in his business, isn't it? And if people go, why does he keep creating new stuff? Because it's better to go deep with a few people than wide and shallow with a lot of people. And this, by the way, is the new way business is being done. The phrase is, retention is the new acquisition. You might want to write that down. Retention is the new acquisition. Thank you for the Elmo. We'll go back to the PowerPoint. So repeat. Okay, in a business, what directly results in cash? Sales. You guys write this down. And I know some people, sales is a dirty word. Sales produces cash. That's it. If you're going to get a loan from a bank, you're selling the bank on giving you a loan. If you're going to get an investor, you're selling the investor on working with you. If you're going to have clients work with you, you're selling the client on working with you. It all comes down to sales. And part of the time that I was hard, that rough time that I went through, I was like, I don't want to have to sell people. I just want them to choose me. How many people do you think just chose me? Not many. You got to ask for the sale. So I want to show you something. What did I do last night in the show that was a magnificent display of sales and marketing? Yeah, I said, who wants to have fun, make more money, and get this programming? Raise your hand and say yes. Do you guys remember this? Write this down. Yes leads to yes. So I got you guys to say yes, and then I said, if you want XYZ, come up here. Isn't that like marketing? In marketing, you ask people to say yes, to raise their hand, to give you an email address. And then you say, well, if you want this product or service, give me a call or show up here or let me know where you are or come to you. You create an action. Does that make sense? And then literally there's a thing in hypnosis called the yardstick test. So people have their eyes closed and I say, imagine the balloons and they put their hands in the air. We call it a yardstick test because it's like as big as a yardstick. Well, the people who have their hands highest in the air are the least or the most responsive. And if I want to work with easy clients who love me and are going to do how many of you would like easy clients who love you and do exactly what you say? Put them up. Then who am I going to keep on stage? But how about your business? Just start thinking about your business the same way. Hey, Mr. Realtor, put your hand in the air if you want this kind of service. Mr. Broker, put your hand in the air if you want this kind of service. Give them a metaphorical yardstick test, and the ones who respond the best, give them the most attention. Write this down. Quit selling the difficult. Some of you guys are beating your brains out trying to sell the people who say no. I will admit, my first 4 years speaking from stage, I could have 90% of the room on fire in love with me, and the one guy that's like this would just totally throw me off. And I like stare at him like a train wreck, and it would just wreck. I don't know how I still sold well. How did I still sell well? You guys getting something out of this? Thank you, I appreciate it. So let's keep going on it then. Robert Kiyosaki says, the base skill, the sad truth, great talent is not enough. I'm constantly shocked at how little talented people earn. Those of you who are right now just focusing on, well, you guys are here, so you're kind of a different crowd. You're actually a really cool crowd. Some people just focus on making the building inspections better. They make very little money. Most people are one skill away from great wealth. What this means is they need to learn and master one more skill, and their income would jump exponentially. What's that one more skill? Communication. Everybody say communication. Equals wealth. High five your neighbor, say communicate. Why do I keep having you high five? Do you know why? I didn't lose my place. That's one reason. Do you know the other reason? When you guys get a physical contact, it makes the learning implant and lock down. We have physical, mental, emotional states. So if you feel good and you connect with a human being, it anchors. Plus, next time you go to talk to a human being, I want you to remember, oh yeah, communicate, boom, and then it'll trigger you to communicate. So what I've actually been doing, and I hope it's okay, I've been using subconscious influence the whole time to train you to be more effective. Is that cool or is that cool? Who's down with that? And I think if you're going to be great instructors too, one day you all might want to step into those ranks. You've got to influence people on two levels. Write this down. Conscious and subconscious. And you got to speak to the personality types. You've heard that, right? You also have to speak to their emotional state, their mental state, and their physical state. So if you're going to speak to their mental, emotional, physical state, what do you have to use? Yes, excellent work. So communication is the secret to wealth. So where else do we use communication? So I had a really interesting thing. Erica was the GM of my company, and I had a few employees and stuff for a while. And Erica would sit in the back of my seminar rooms, and she would learn and listen what I was doing. And Sarah's been doing this lately. So one day Erica comes up to me, and she says, you know, I think I'm getting engaged soon. I said, oh, that's great. Does Alan know? No. I think I'm getting engaged soon. And then some of you that were in the show last night might have felt this way. I just felt compelled to give her a raise. I didn't even know why. Some of you in the show felt compelled to do things. You didn't know why. When she left my office that day, I said, all right, Erica's learning too much communication skills. When you're excellent in communication, they think it's their idea. They think it's whose idea? That's excellence in communication. So this is Erica Riles. She got married and she got a raise. So congrats. Congrats to Era. So have a system for one-to-one communication. Have a what? System. Hey, girls, did we pass out the template, or do they have that in the book? The one that we printed. What's that? Would you guys like a system? Yeah. Would you like a system absolutely for free? Yeah. Then you got it. Let's pass those out. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Why, thank you. You're welcome. Know what it's really about. It's about them succeeding. It's about who? Them. Say it again. Them. Say it again. Them. Yeah, it's not getting someone to take the action you want to take. It's inspiring them to take the actions that will improve their life. Whose life? Theirs. Because it is in their best interest. Whose best interest? Theirs. Now here's the win. If their best interest matches your service, you got a deal. What do you do if your product or service is not the best solution for them? Don't sell it. Refer it. Exactly. Find the best solution. Now, some of you guys deal with massive insecurity, so here's what I want to tell you. Here's your questions. Am I the best service? If not, who is? Are they here now? And if they're not here now and they can't be here quick, then who is the best service? You are. Because quite often, people work with someone way worse than you. What was that? Oh. Well, actually, I want you to feel good about that, because one of the things that used to happen to me is I'd say, oh, I don't want to sell this person, or they were kind of on. Have you guys ever had someone who's on the fence about working with you, and you don't want to push them, you don't want to be pushing? Ladies, there's supposed to be 3 pages of that. Hey, guys, can we cut them some slack? So how about we do this? I'll show you my template with my notes on it, and we'll just go from there. Does that work for you guys? Hey, if you guys could just get me one master copy, let's do that, actually. Let's do that. Can I borrow yours? What you got? I got a page 1, I got a page 2, I got a page 3. I got a whole thing right here. Hey, everybody, pass your notes to the middle. Krista, do you want us to pick them back up? What do you want to do? What's best? Who has 3 pages? Who's got 3 pages? You only got 2? Okay, so I'm going to teach you guys, and you guys just watch. You know, I'd say one goof up in 4 days, we're doing pretty darn good, huh? Yeah. So how about, Krista, what do you want them to do? Do you want them to pass them back in on this side, and we'll pass them back out again? What works? How many pages you guys got? 2? How about this? Go with what you got. We'll teach it all, and we'll make sure you have a full set before you leave. Does that work for you? Or just buy my product, you do get that and more. So let's go back to the Elmo, please. So what I'm taking this from is actually from one of my products. It's called the Persuasion Paradigm. I used to teach a seminar called The Bridge. That was the seminar that was $2,500, travel the world, help hundreds of people improve their lives, become millionaires, save marriages. What I got was, the biggest thing I can do to help people change their world is to sell them on living a better life. Does that make sense, you guys? Have you heard there's all this different sales and persuasion stuff out there? You ever get lost with it? Like, when do I use this technique? When do I use that? It's overwhelming. So what I did is I put it into a system. It's 9 steps. How many steps? 9. You hit the same 9 steps in the same order, you will have success so much. It's incredible. You know, I can't guarantee you what you'll do. I can guarantee I'll teach you some great stuff. So, have you ever heard a CD that's made like a recorded live CD and people are coughing and all that stuff in the background? Drives me nuts. So I actually went in studio and recorded these. These are all professional quality. We edited out the ums and ahs and oohs, and it's just all perfect in there. And separately, I recorded that, and then separately I wrote the workbook. So the workbook has information from there, but then it also has a lot more information, and it teaches you the 8 steps or 9 steps. So what I'm about to go through with you actually comes from this book. And if you look, there's a table of contents, and in the table of contents, there's step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it tells you what's in the book. So what I'm going to do is give you the highlights and teach you so that you'll have a working knowledge, and if you decide, you know what, I like this and I want more, I have this product available for you guys. Cool or cool? Cool. Awesome. So let's jump into it. Sales versus persuasion. Salesmen tell prospects about a product or service. Masters of persuasion ask about needs and wants. Gone are the days of straight sales. Today, the customer is sophisticated, educated, and deliberate about what they purchase and from whom they purchase. Persuasion is the key to success. It is an art of communicating with people in a framework they understand. Who understands? They understand, desire, and act upon. It's discovering what our customer wants, and communicating a language they understand that our product fulfills their desire. So it's about whose wants? Theirs. So here's how it works. This number one job of the subconscious mind is to keep us alive physically, emotionally, mentally. After that number one job is met, after they have food, after they have a home, after the subconscious knows they're safe, they get secondary motivators. And these secondary motivators create a hunger, just like the hunger for food. And I would maintain that in many ways, these secondary motivators become bigger than the hunger for food. Have you ever seen people pursue really ridiculous goals? You're like, you don't need to be buying that big car. You don't have groceries. It's because the secondary motivator has kicked in and overridden the basic needs. Secondary motivators will kick in and override them. So what's important, how you do your sales, you identify how or what the individual does to satisfy those motivators. So you identify how or what they satisfy the motivators. And then you communicate in both verbal and nonverbal language. Verbal and what? So everybody look up here. I want to show you some about nonverbal language. How much of our communication is nonverbal? About 70%. 70%. So you guys, how many of you have studied how to send subconscious nonverbal language? One. So stand up back there. Who has done it? One of our coaches. By the way, thank you for the wonderful compliment. Who has signed up for her course this weekend? Great choice. I love it. She's clapping for herself. That's a smart lady. If you want to be excellent in communication, you must learn to send nonverbal language, because here's what's going on. If you haven't learned how to get integrity between what you say and what you do, let me put it another way. There's 3 parts to your communication. Do you know what these 3 parts are? What are you guys giggling about? What's so funny? Oh, because I'm doing something incongruous between my voice and my body? But this is what you guys are doing. You're saying, oh, I'm the best. Oh, I can do this. And subconsciously you're going, you should hire me. I'm the best. You should refer me. Does this make sense? Now here's what's really cool through hypnosis, or let me put it another way, subconscious influence. If you learn how to move the body, you can match people's physical expression and then lead. Write this down, match, then lead. Match, then lead. So everybody go like this, like this. Look at me through it. Smile. Go, ooh la la. Thanks, that was just because I wanted it. No, I'm just kidding. Go like this. Now listen, I'm going to show you an example of nonverbal language overrides language. Do exactly what I do as soon as I tell you to do it. Do exactly what I do as soon as I tell you to do it. Quickly, put it on your chin. Freeze, where is it? Do you think you need to learn how to send the right nonverbal language? Yes or yes? Yes is right. Haha. So let's move into it. So the role of fear. To stay alive, the subconscious mind uses fear. The programming received tells it what to fear, and it learns that when feeling fear, stay put. Fear looks like, I don't know if I should do it. I don't know who to hire. I don't know which guy to use. I don't know who to refer. It also looks like for a broker, I don't know if this person's going to come in and bomb the presentation, and everyone's going to look at me like, you jerk, why'd you make us sit through that? Until staying put is more fearful than taking an action. So now let's get into the actual steps. Step 1 of the persuasion paradigm. Success the first second. Let me slide that down, sorry. Could we go back to the PowerPoint, please? How did I know I needed to go back to the PowerPoint right then? Nicely done. It's on my notes, and it's in orange. Man, you guys are good. So it says persuasion paradigm slide. So that's the persuasion paradigm that I showed you. Here's Mark Sumter. Mark was a cop in Kansas City, and he was also a real estate investor. Write this down. It's the fast that eat the slow, not the big that eat the small. It's no longer a business, the big that eat the small. It's the fast that eat the slow. If you get an opportunity to present, the answer is what? Yes. Good. You guys, high five your neighbor. Say, I'm so happy for you. The answer is yes. So Mark has an assistant that normally answers the phone, and he gets this call. And I've been working with Mark, and I taught him this persuasion paradigm system. And the first step is called success the first second. In the speaker layout, it's called overcome first objections. It's like address the elephant in the room. So Mark gets this call, and the guy says, hey, I've got a house. Can you come look at it? And Mark says, yeah, we'll come over. And the guy says, oh, good, because if this works out, I have 30 more. Mark says, I'll be right over. It's real early in the morning. Mark's assistant would normally take that call, and then Mark would go over later. 30 deals are on the line. Is he waiting, or is he going? No. He's going. He had bedhead, and he's a big guy. He can be kind of intimidating, so he shows up. If you're looking at giving someone 30 deals, and they look like they just rolled out of bed, are you likely to give it to them? Not unless they know these persuasion skills. So Mark says, the elephant in the room, I know I don't look like who you would expect to give 30 deals to, but let me explain why I look like this. So he's going to take a negative and make a positive. He's going to take a negative and make a what? Positive. He says to the guy, don't you want someone who's going to do what it takes no matter what they look like to come serve you? Or do you want the guy that's going to wait and make his hair pretty? Who would you hire? The guy that's there. So Mark used this information. He got one technique to get 30 deals. And the 60 days after my training, he got 70 deals. Is that cool or is that cool? I'm sorry, is that cool or is that cool? Thank you, that's cool. All right, we'll go back to the Elmo, please. Seek safety. Once you address the success the first second, if there might not be an elephant in the room, but suppose you're speaking and it's hot or it's cold or something happens weird, you got to address it. Seek safety. Seek sameness by reflecting, echoing, and copying. Reflect, echo, and copy. Is it focused or no? Okay, thank you. Reflect, echo, and copy. Match and then you can lead. So seek sameness of their body, seek sameness of their speech, and seek sameness of their being. Circle being. If you can match people's emotional state, you will do so much better than anybody else. Yes, seek sameness of their body, their speech, and their being. What did we learn Monday is one of the best ways to seek sameness? Personality types. Can we go back to the PowerPoint? Personality types. So one of the things I want to share with you is personality types. I told you I'd tell you today how to get this absolutely free. I created a workbook and a CD training. You listen, has any of the Platinums listened to this yet? How is it, you guys? Stand up real quick. How is this training? Is it great? Fantastic. Thank you. So it's a CD you listen to in your car or your home, and then the workbook actually comes with an assessment, and you can print as many copies as you want. I'll give you full permission. Give it to your staff. If you have a really great relationship, give it to your realtors. Give it to people, say, I just want to serve you better. You want to take this? And by the way, you can have some fun with this. And you have full permission. Use this information to reteach it next time you go to speak to realtors. Instead of just talking about your service, give them tools to make more money. Who are they going to like? The guy who has a pretty service or the guy who helps them make money? Who are they going to like? The lady who says, we're the best, and here's why we're the best. Me, 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 me? Or the lady who comes in and says, let me serve you and help you land that next deal. Let me help you get that next listing. You guys tracking? Yes. Serve, serve, serve. Serve, serve what? Serve. Thank you, serve. This is a $150 value. I'll tell you today how you can get it absolutely free. We'll go back to the Elmo, please. Mark, how about a round of applause for Mark for switching so fast, you guys? Thanks, Mark. Number 3, set the hook. Tells the audience why they should listen. Identify a need and arouse a want. Here's 3 ways to set a hook. Imagine, in a moment, and when you learn. Imagine learning how to capture an audience. Let me flip back. Here was my hook. Imagine having more confidence. How would you like to learn? In a moment, I'm going to share. So what you're going to do is do this. It's called excite the subconscious. Excite the what? You want to get them triggered. Imagine being able to go on a 5-star vacation and it costs you no extra money. So that's set the hook. Number 4, search out aims and objectives. Do not sell. Instead, investigate and prescribe. I want you to take on the consultant mind frame. A consultant gets paid a fee to consult with a business, and therefore they're unattached when they make recommendations. The effective way for you to communicate with people to be unattached when you make recommendations. In other words, say, if you have this challenge, here's some solutions, one of which may be mine. If you have a challenge, here's what I think is your best solution. I'm going to educate you how to make the best choice you choose. Write this down. We educate, they decide. We educate, they decide. We do what? They what? Exactly. It's their choice, guys. They decide. So probe and discover the needs and wants of the customer. The needs and wants of the customer. Now, when you're asking questions, do you think it would be helpful when you're asking questions to know if people are lying or telling you the truth? How many of you would like to know buying signals? Like you'd like to know, like, you could tell when they're ready to say yes. How many of you would like that? How about if you're negotiating on a car and they say, $15,000, that's it, but you can tell that's a lie and they'll take less? Who would like that? So here's what you want to watch. You want to pay attention to their body and physiology, their arms, hands, neck, eyes, voice, breathing, skin, handshake, voice, and tenor. What part of a man, make sure I say this right, I'm in a micro event. What part of a man expands the most when he's excited? His pupils. Right, his pupils. That's exactly right. If you can get so in tune with people, you can watch their pupils, you'll see their pupils literally go. I'll work with people, and I know I've got them on a subconscious level when I see the pupils expand. So you want to look for them. Do they, if they're breathing like this, do they go? Some people don't want to give away secrets, so they'll quit talking. Other people get loud because they think if they get control of the situation, they'll get a better deal. So what you're looking for is shifts. What you're looking for is what? Shifts. You're looking for them to shift what they're doing. Handshake. Can you guys see me over here? If they come in neutral, they're generally neutral. All the controllers are going to start coming in neutral. It's so funny. If they come in open, remember we're going to look at direct or indirect, people-based or task-based to find personality types. If they come in open, what are they? They're accommodators or perhaps the passionates. They're open. They're receptive. or they're a controller in disguise. If they come over, can you see what's in my hand? No, it's more closed off, so they're more likely to be a controller or a planner. Does that make sense? Really most effective is here. What you can do to overcome people knowing this information is when you shake their hand, give it a little shake, and then they'll go to what they naturally do. So you kind of come in, you shake, and you do a quick shake, and then do like this. By the way, ladies, do you ever hate it when someone shakes your hand and gives you that death grip and crushes your fingers? In my workbook, I actually explain how to shake hands, and you'll never have your hand crushed again. I've had women say that by itself was when I used to charge $2,500, I teach that live, they'd say that was worth the whole seminar. Never get their hand crushed again. Can we go back to the PowerPoint real quick? So reading body language, one of the things I did to help you guys learn how to read body language, have you ever read a body language book and it's all words? Anybody ever see that before? Does that make any sense? Here's a body language book and it's all words. It drove me nuts. So what I did is we actually did something incredibly rare for body language training. We took pictures. So what we do is, or what you're going to do, is you're going to listen to the CD, and it's going to explain the theories and the mindset behind understanding body language. And then what you do is you go through the book, and you look at the pictures, and it says, okay, if they're looking their eyes a certain direction, and you'll think about, well, what does that look like they're doing to me? And you think about it, and then you read the caption, and then you look at the next picture, and then you read the caption. And so eventually you get trained for, okay, if they do this, this might be what they're thinking. Does that make sense to you guys? Who thinks this could be pretty valuable? Yes, this will really help you get a leg up. If you have employees and you want to know if your employees are lying or telling you the truth, if you have kids, could be really, they're lying. They're just lying. They're kids, they got it. Oh, I'm not even going to go there. Back to the Elmo, please. Next one, sell with their permission. Sell with whose permission? Their permission. How would you like it if your next presentation, whether you're selling an information product or you're selling a, you're speaking, let me just ask you, what would it be like for you guys if you got like towards the middle and they went, oh my gosh, how do I work with you? What would that be like for you guys? I got to tell you, it's great. Have you ever heard about be a better negotiator and negotiate real hard and all that? Oh. Here's my theories on negotiation. Make such an attractive offer, they take the first offer. Isn't that a novel idea? What if your offer was so good and so well priced and you served them so immaculately that they couldn't wait to work with you? Who would like that? Say yes. So that's what you got to do, is put it together. So what you want to do under sell with their permission is have an emotional impact story. You want to share why you do what you do, continue to get inclined into an emotional state, and create the need for what you're selling. So through telling stories, telling what? Thank you. You're going to get the client into an emotional state. What sells, logic or emotion? So does it make sense you want to get them emotional? Those of you who want to make a difference in people's life as a coach or as a consultant, you will never change a life if you don't get them emotional. Those of you who want to change your life, you will never change your life unless you allow yourself to feel emotion. Emotion guides decision, not the other way around. Now, write this down. Buying decisions are backed up with logic. That's where you put the logic in. But if you don't touch the heart, you'll never get the sale, no matter how much logic you throw at it. So you want to share your before and after story. Share how it was. Share all the pain and hurt emotionally, physically, and financially that you experienced or other people experienced before they had your product or service. You guys tracking with me? Share how it was. Share all the pain and hurt emotionally, physically, and financially that you had when you didn't have your product or service. Who here has a great product or service that they love? Somebody shout one out. Recall check. So let me share it before. I want to tell you about Mary. Mary didn't have a recall check. And Mary moves into the house. 4 months later, the air conditioning goes out, the dishwasher goes out, the washing machine goes out. Mary's a single mom, completely overwhelmed. That's too much for any single mom. Do you guys get that? Is that a painful before story? So what are people going to say? Holy crap, I don't want to have that happen. What should I do? And they'll go, whoa, what do I do to avoid that? After story. we offer a recall check. And let me tell you about Sue. Sue had a recall check. Something went wrong. She made the call. It got fixed. Kids kept going to school. Sue kept all her hair. Sue's a happy lady. Does that make sense? Who's seen how easy this is? It's easy when you have the right tool for the job, isn't it? Put them up, say yes if you're seeing this. Cool. So what you want to do is tell your story. So I'll share with you some of my story. I told you guys my story about how, like, 10 years ago, how I was just insecure, fat, and all that stuff, and I wanted to change my life. Well, I didn't know how to sell. And I would sit down with these clients that I knew needed my product or service, but they didn't say yes. Have that ever happened to you guys? It was so frustrating, and I had to meet with too many clients and spend too many appointments and waste too much time. It's kind of like this. It'd take me 10 hours to get one client. You guys with me? After I learned these tools, it took me 5 hours to get 4 clients. So if I could spend only 5 hours to get 4 clients, I could either take the other 5 hours off, or in the same 10 hours, get 8 clients where I only had 1. In other words, I increased my income by 8 times. You guys track with me on this? So what I did is I started studying sales and persuasion. I started going to seminars. One of the things that happened is I was volunteering at one of these seminars I absolutely loved, and they said, if you work it, you can actually come back for free and get paid. I paid you guys $5,000 last month. You mean I could come next month and get paid? And they said, yes, but you'll work as a salesman, and if you don't sell, you don't come back. You know all those books and CDs I had about selling? I listened to them. And I went and I worked their event, and I actually moved to Vegas and lived on a friend's couch, and I said, I'm going to make this work. I don't care how it's going to work. I'm going to create this. That moment on, I became the top salesman for that company forever until I moved on and started my own company. But it's only because I had to. Is this making sense to you guys? Do you want to know how I did it? Yes. That's my point. I just told you a story, and it made you want to know how I did it. You guys getting this? You getting this? Knuckle bump your neighbor and say, I think I'm getting this. So I do want to share with you, what's the answer to how? What's the answer to how? What do you do when you reach that line in the sand and you're determined to go forward? What do you say? Yes. The answer to how is yes. How is God's territory. Your job is the yes. So what do? You say what? Yes. And then you take a step. You say what? Yes. Let me hear some energy. You say what? Yes. And then you take a step. So I just spoke in Orlando, and I'm looking for my big break. And it was my first time to speak in, a small crowd. I knew everybody. I'd been from Orlando, and I did okay. 100 people maybe. And I flew back to Vegas, and I'm having lunch with my boss. And this is where selling yourself comes in. Selling who? Yourself. Point at yourself. Say, I gotta sell me. See, you're either going to sell yourself on, I'm too insecure and scared to make these offers, or you're going to sell yourself on, I can do this. I can do more presentations. I can implement what Mike has. I can do this. Does that make sense to you guys? So this is the moment for me everything changed. So I'm with my mentor at lunch, and he goes, you did pretty well yesterday. I want you guys to get this. It's like a Saturday, and this morning I just flew from Orlando to Vegas, so I'm jet lagged. I just spoke and performed the night before. And he looks at me and says, you did pretty good last night. I'm supposed to speak in front of 500 people tonight. They each paid $3,000 to be there. Let's see how you do on a real stage. Do you want to fill in? Now, you guys, I've been waiting for my big break, right? So what did I say? Yes. But sometimes that yes is going to come out like this. Yes! Have you guys heard me tell this story? Yeah, so it's like, yes! So this is like 1 o'clock. I've got to be there at 5. So I show up. Anybody here know Ron LeGrand? Is Ron a big touchy-feely guy? Those of you who know Ron? How would you describe Ron? Just shout it out. Rough. Gruff. This guy's like an ex-plumber making a lot of money, teaching people how to do real estate investing. He is not touchy-feely. So I'm a big believer in language patterns for success. I was so nervous, though, I showed up and my language patterns were horrible. I'm like, Ron, I hope this opens the door for us to work together in the future, and I'm going to do the best I can. And Ron looks at me and he goes, listen, your boss was supposed to be here tonight. My boss wound up going to LA for this big TV thing. or at least that's the story he told Ron. So, are you recording this part? So Ron says, listen, there's 500 people in the room. They each paid $3,000 to be here. There could be some resistance in the room. Good luck. Thanks, Ron. How would you guys have been feeling in that moment? These are the moments your destiny is formed, though. These are the moments your destiny is formed. It's going to present itself as the scariest opportunity. That's the opportunity you have to take. Mike has mentioned over and over how there was so much resistance for this event and all these things they had to push through. Your greatest breakthrough is on the other side of that massive resistance. That's why you must train yourself to say what? Yes. So I go in the bathroom, and I learned about doing these deep breathing exercises. So I'm in the end stall. By the way, yesterday they were doing this montage of what we do before we speak, and we kept waiting for all you guys to leave the bathroom. We had to use a different room. So I'm in the bathroom, and I'm trying to do my deep breathing, and we're supposed to go, and take 5 deep breaths. But I'm in there, and I'm going, and this guy comes in this bathroom, and this is a true story. And this guy comes in the bathroom, and he goes, hey, Dave, is Dave here? You remember that old joke? I'm like, Dave's not here. And the guy says, oh. To this day, I've never seen this guy's face, because I was in the end stall. I wasn't going to the bathroom, but I was in there doing my breathing. He goes, oh, did you hear the headliner's not here tonight? I'm like, is this a setup? I go, I heard that. What do you think about it? And the guy says, I think it sucks. Sorry, Mike. So I'm in there and I go,
It's okay, Jase. You'll pay for it later.
you guys, he's not even in the room.
Don't
Oh,
kid
there
yourself.
he is. So I said, well, I hear this guy named Jase is here tonight. What do you think about that? And the guy says, well, I don't know. I haven't seen him yet. I'll tell you later. How would you have felt in that moment? Your destiny's on the line in that moment. I don't know how I can make this any clearer. You guys, you're going to have this moment. You probably had it already, like the birth of a child, the time you proposed, when you started your business. But every next step up is accompanied by this moment. And you have 2 choices in this moment. You take the door and you just leave, or you say yes. You stay stuck, or you move forward. You get more of what you've had, or you do what it takes to take the next step. So my job was to say what? Yes. And then what? Yes. My next step was to get on stage. My next step, that was as far as I could go. And what I did is I had the tools to persuade myself to take the next step. And I had faith in something bigger to carry me through. And I had a process that I used and that I use now to get me through. And I want to share with you what I've actually never shared this with anybody this way before. I put it on this CD. It's called the Up Zone. This stands for the Unlimited Persuasion Zone. This is a CD, and what you do is before you do your next presentation, you listen to it. You ever heard like people get pumped up before a presentation? But it's not like a go kill, kill, kill get pumped up. In this one, it's like there's someone's son or daughter. There's someone's sister. There's somebody's mom. There's somebody's dad. There's somebody in that room of realtors waiting for you to step up and make a difference. That morning, someone got up and said, God, I need a miracle. And you get to be someone's miracle. When you quit making it about you and you make it about the people you serve, life changes. So I'm in that bathroom, and I was nervous. But that was my one shot, and it was my one shot to serve. So I got on that stage. You know what I did? What's the first step in the persuasion thing I taught you? Overcome first objections, the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room was I wasn't the guy they were expecting. And I also believe this, when you say yes and take the next step, God gives you things to use. So I went on stage and I told people what happened in the bathroom. So the crowd went from who's this guy to like, oh, the underdog. So I did that show that night and I spoke the next morning, and in 90 minutes I did $96,000 in sales. Cool or cool? Thank you. And after the event, I'm standing there, I'm talking to these 3 attendees, and Ron's kind of a big, gruff guy, and he steps between me and the attendees, and he says, he's so much taller than me, he's like, you need to talk to my assistant, Cam. I said, Ron, I hope this opens the door for us to work together in the future. I hope it did a good job for you. And he goes, you're in. You don't know how far you're in. I said, can I have a hug? Spark shot out of his head. He literally went like this. Okay. I just made the guy $48,000. What else is he gonna say? Anybody else here hug Ron LeGrand? Big risk, big reward. Everybody say that. Big risk, big reward. So at the end of the presentation, I'm standing there and I'm just, after everybody's bought and stuff, and I'm done talking about it, I'm just kind of taking it in. I'm like, I did it. I did it. You're gonna have this moment. Like, I did it. That thing I so badly wanted, I did it. And right then, this guy comes walking over, and he's got the bag of product in the hand. He goes, hey, I'm Dave. All right, let's jump in. So that's sell with their permission. Let's go back to Elmo, please.
Hey, Jase.
Yes, sir.
I think you got 3 minutes.
Holy smokes. I better wrap it, but you guys, you know what's perfect is right here. I'm going to show you how to close. Why don't I do this? Why don't I just combine my offer with teaching? Would that work for you guys? Yes or yes? Yes. Good. So slide what you're selling into their crosshairs. We got your permission. Now support them in getting what they want. Your mindset, it's a done deal. So one of the things you want to do is give a discount, give a risk reversal, create scarcity. You want to help them get it by being the director of a play. Save shoppers 3 through 9. Now, what will happen is some people know they want it already. By the way, I have a limited number of copies here. Some of you guys already know you want what I got. I have a limited copy. I would encourage you, if you've already made up your mind, like if you're in the controller, or even if you're a planner who's ready to step out of their box, I would head over there soon because it's going to be a lot of people over there, and I have a very limited copy. If you want to leave with the set, I would go soon, if not right now. So what you want to do is be the director of a play. Congratulations on taking action. Congratulations on taking action. Congratulations on taking. Congratulations on taking. Congratulations on taking action. Congratulations on taking. Congratulations on taking action. Some will always buy, some will never buy. The money is made in the middle, therefore close the middle over and over again. The 4th through 7th ask is when you make money. The what through what? 4 through 7. Some will always buy, some will not. If they don't buy, they don't think it's worth it, or they don't think they'll follow through. They don't think who will follow through? They will follow through. So overcome buyer's remorse and offer risk reversal. So how about I do this? I'll show you what I've got. We'll go back to the PowerPoint, please. Have we passed out the sales forms yet or no?
I need more.
Can we pass them out for everyone who's seated? Can we get those passed out real quick?
They're passing them out now.
Thank you very much. So how many tools of communication do you guys need? Is one enough? If you only have one tool, it's kind of like you got a hammer and all the world's a nail. If you try and hammer in screws, is it going to go well? No, you need the right tool for the job. So make money where others don't. Vince used this information. He quit just trying to make a buck. He started helping people. Vince made $100,000 profit. $1 million language. The language patterns that influence people, I've put onto a CD and workbook. Let me give you the fastest example I can of how this works. Have you ever heard someone say, don't forget to refer me? Subconscious mind does not hear negatives. When you say, don't forget to refer me, the subconscious mind hears blank, forget to refer me.
Feel free to start halfway up.
You just program them to forget. How good did the government do with don't do drugs?
Scott, go ahead and go all the way up.
Because what the kids hear is blank, do drugs. Instead, you need to say, remember to refer me. keep me in mind. You'll be so happy when you refer me. Do you think this could help? These are hypnotic language patterns you use in everyday language to program yourself and others for success. Cool or cool? Cool. My grandfather, the fisherman, I'm going to have to tell you guys this story later. No, I'll tell you really fast. I'm going to tell you fast. I'm going to go into the close real quick, okay, guys? You ever heard an expert and people want to ask the expert how to get stuff done? Have you guys ever seen that before? Well, this kid asked my grandfather how to fish because my grandfather was a world-famous fisherman. My grandfather says, all right, I'll teach you. But you got to be here at 6 a.m. What does the kid say? 6 a.m. You want to learn to fish or are you going to talk? All right, I'll meet you there. So they meet at Bear Lake. And when my grandfather says, meet me at Bear Lake, what's the kid say? Bear Lake, there's no fish in Bear Lake. People want the answer, but then they argue the answer, right? So my grandfather says, meet, you want to talk? You want to fish? Okay, I want to fish. They get in the boat. He says, row to the middle. The middle! All the fish are on the edge, not the middle. You guys ever heard that before? People tell the expert how to get it done. They row to the middle. The kid's like, there's no fish in the middle, no fish. So my grandfather reaches behind him. He picks out a stick of dynamite, lights it, throws it in the water. Boom, all these fish come up. Kid says, that's illegal, you can't do that. My grandfather pulls out another stick. He lights, he throws it in. Boom, all these fish come up. You can't do that, you can't do that. My grandfather lights another one. He hands it to the kid. You can't. My grandfather says, you going to talk or are you going to fish? Who's going to fish? You want to come up with me, Mike? So I wanted the next success story. Here's what we have. And we are running out of time. So if you guys want to look at these sales form, here's what I've got. I got 3 packages for you. And the first one, you get my 8-step persuasion paradigm CDs. Bill used this information. I took the bridge and a lot of the content from the bridge I put on here. He jump-started his career. You learn 10 ways to create rapport, ways to get people to listen, how to read body language. You also get in this, it's a $495 value. You get the reading body language CD and workbook. You also get, that's a $150 value, $1 Million language and CD and workbook, it's $150. Personality types, it's $150. That whole package is worth a total of $945. The discount investment today is only $795. Those of you who are ready to really go big time, I've got an even better offer. Say, Jase, I want more. All right, so here's what we got. Money back guarantee. If you don't love it in 30 days, you just send it all back, full refund. That was part of Mike beating me up. We normally only do 3. So this is a DVD training I created. It's all about positioning yourself as the go-to expert, how to make all the social media fit. It's a $150 value. The one-of-a-kind presentation I just showed you guys. This is the template that I use every time I speak. Could that make a difference in your business? You're going to get that too. So in the second package, the one in the middle, when you add those on, the total value is $1,245, $995 today. And then the third package includes everything I just showed you, plus I'm going to send you a link where you can download all my audio products so you can put them right on your phone or your computer. That's $295. The Up Zone, you're also going to get this one. It's a $100 value. Listen to this every time you present. When are you going to listen to it? Every time. Listen to it as you're driving over. I'll send you a digital link for this. That's normally $100. You get that for free. Detail your life. The clothes you wear influence people on a subconscious level. I teach you that so you quit killing deals with the wrong clothes. So that's $100. We'll send you a link to download that for free. I have an expert marketing blueprint. It's a video. I'm going to send you to watch the link on a private link. It's an hour training on how to position yourself in the market as the expert. It explains where all the social media fits together. That's a $245 value. So the total package price for all of this is $1,985. It's well worth it by itself. You guys, if you got all of this, do you think you could double or triple that investment this year really easily? Yes or yes? So here's the offer Mike and I put together for you guys, which is just a phenomenal effort. We're not going to do $1,395. Do you want me to tell them or you want to tell them?
No, I'll let you tell them.
So here's what I have for you guys. For everyone who invests right now, and I have a limited number of products, you get everything that I've just showed you, everything I've talked about, not for $1,395. You get the entire package, everything I just talked about, $597. Thank you.
That good or good?
So those of you that are clapping, please stand up and head to the table because I've limited things and it's going to really
Wait, just a second.
Or stop.
Jase.
Yes.
I want to ask you one more favor. Look, the back of this is blank. How do I feel about blank paper, guys? Nah. So I'd like right on the back here, how many of you would love to have Jase come speak? You know how Michael Mayer actually went and spoke to some of your agents and different people in your area? How many of you would like to have Jase speak? to real estate agents in your office. Right, Jase speaks on the back here, and then Jase, Jase charges thousands of dollars to go speak.
About 5,000 to 10,000 for a day, roughly.
So, for these guys, for my guys,
Yes.
for what I'm doing for you,
Yes.
if they were willing to pay your airfare,
Yes.
they were willing to put you in a decent hotel room, not a Motel 6, a decent hotel room
Yes.
overnight,
Yes.
would you be willing to go speak to, say, their audience for, I don't know, maybe $397 or something like that?
Yes. As long as it's a certain size audience.
Did you notice how he said yes, and then yes?
Wait a second.
So, Jay speaks $397. If that's something you're interested in, write it down there. You'll pay his airfare. By the way, it should be reasonable, okay? And then pay his hotel room, and then $397 on top of that to have him come speak. You bring a group of real estate agents together, okay? And he'll come teach them how to sell more real estate. If they sell more real estate, what do? You do more inspections. Okay, so write Jay speaks and then add $397 to there. And I'm not even going to charge you that $397. I'm going to let him get back in touch with you and set that up. That will be 100% between you and him. Okay, so all you pay today is the $597, and the people that turn this in with the $597 are the people that are going to have the opportunity to have him come talk to your area, maybe your board of realtors or something in the future. So put $597 on there, turn that in, and we need to be back at 9:30 for Tom Ziegler. Now, I will tell you Tom's out there. If you want to go get a photo with him after you turn your paperwork in and everything, then please do that as well. And on top of everything else, Jase, I just want to tell you, man, I love you.
Thank you.
All right.